Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. But get ready for traffic on the roads and long lines at the airport. So what can travelers expect for the rest of the holiday season? Let's get the read from travel expert Bobby Laurie. Bobby, we're hearing that the crowds are going to be longer than normal. You add on there maybe some TSA issues with respect to the COVID vaccine mandate. Should we be bracing for even tougher travel than normal?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you are planning on flying around this holiday, I mean, it is already Thanksgiving Day, but even right after Thanksgiving, you should be planning to go to the airport much earlier than usual. You should be getting there 3.5 hours before rather than the usual 2 hours before your flight. This is a true test of whether or not the airlines have recovered from the layoffs that they suffered at the beginning of the pandemic, and if they were able to bring all those employees back quick enough to be ready for this holiday surge.
Yeah, there's no doubt we want to travel, right? I mean, it's been 2 years. People just want to get out there. So the demand should not be the issue, right?
Exactly. And, you know, I think it may have taken the airlines by surprise, especially at the start of the holiday season, mostly because as the Delta variant started to tick up again, airlines started to cut back again. But then as more folks got vaccinated, they decided that they wanted to see their friends and family this year after not traveling last year. And because of that, some airlines just before Thanksgiving started adding some flights back to their schedules. But on the flip side of that, you need the pilots and flight attendants to work on those planes. And it takes a little bit of time to get those folks retrained if they've been offline for an extended period of time. I don't think a lot of people realize, you know, if a flight attendant or pilot is grounded for longer than 6 to 9 months, they have to go back to training before they're allowed to operate your flight again.
So you're a travel expert, but I also read where you were a flight attendant yourself at some point. Are we starting to see scenes, those initial scenes? I don't know if you call it cabin fever or whatnot, but when people initially started traveling, we saw some pretty ugly scenes. You know, it wasn't the friendly skies at all. Is that stuff starting to simmer down a little bit?
Yeah, I think it really is starting to simmer down. I think, you know, especially with the FAA coming down on those unruly passengers and actually finding them. When I was a flight attendant, and I stopped flying 5 years ago, but when I did fly, I flew for over 10 years. And I've encountered my fair share of unruly passengers, not to the extremes that they were recently, but to the extremes back then. The difference was, you know, you would tell them that they were in trouble, especially like someone who was smoking in the bathroom, for argument's sake. You would tell them that they've broken the law and they've done something bad and the authorities are going to meet them. But back then, they got a slap on the wrist or just a warning. But nowadays, they're actually getting that fine. And I think the news getting around that these folks are getting tens of thousands of dollars worth of fines for behaving badly is starting to simmer that down. And I also think at this point, if you want to go see your friends and family and you want to go over the river and through the woods to grandma's house, just like you said earlier, you know you have to put that mask on if you want to get on an airplane. So I think those are the folks that are getting on those planes. They're going there with the mindset of, I need to do this. I want to see grandma.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people want to get banned for life from some of these airlines. That may be the only route there. Hey, I got less than a minute to go. So words of advice then, other than getting there 3 hours early, anything else we need to know?
I mean, I would say, you know, we're all in this together. The flight attendants are on that plane with you. The pilots are there, especially today being the holiday, for example. You know, they've given up their holiday to get you to yours. So be kind to them. I mean, they are staying in a hotel, probably with no restaurants or access to a Thanksgiving dinner. Be nice to them. Be nice to the passengers in the airport around you. Do what you're supposed to do, and everyone can enjoy a happy holiday.
Bobby, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Charles. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.